So I am a little bit under the weather right now, but I've got to do this. You know what they say, that what goes around comes around, and that every good turn deserves another. And there are certain things that happen and they are so amazing that we cannot but share it with the world. This is UC and you are welcome to Make Love Go Viral. So every single year, once in a year, we are sent to different localities to spread this message of love, this gospel of peace. And the place that I went to this year, it was just an amazing experience. When you hear about Africa and idol worship, it was in that place that I really experienced what it really meant. Like, there were only a few families that you would walk into and you would not see some kind of molded thing that they worshipped as an idol, sometimes more than even one. And sometimes you get to a place, a large space, and they fence it, and there are all kinds of things. There are all kinds of pots and bones and animal skulls and things like that that they used to make up these idols that they worship. So that is not even my point. But on one of those days when we were visiting families, like we go house to house to, say hi to them as visitors in the area, and the little boy that was taking me around, he saw a man and he told me a story about that man, an amazing story that I cannot but share with you guys today. So this guy was a businessman. He was a very nice guy. And one of the problems we have with these people is that when somebody is understudying them, like as an apprentice, learning a trade or something, the way they treat them, it's always something not encouraged at all. But there are still a few other people who really take these guys as their own sons and brothers, and they do everything that they can for them. So this man was so good. He was just so nice, a guy that he treated the guys that were working with him, that were learning his trade, as his own sons. And these little boys appreciated that. So over the years, he trained so many people. And the point really of the story is this. It seemed as if fortune turned against him. Like everything turned back around and his business kept collapsing and collapsing. It got to a point where the man lost his cars, his property, and at the end of the day he ended up in the village. Then it happened that one of those days, one of the guys that he trained came back from the country where he was living at that point in time, and he saw this man riding a bicycle. At that point, he was already using his motocycle, not a bicycle. And he was already using it for commercial purposes, like he would carry you from here to there and you pay him. He was an Okada man, like we call it. So the guy saw him and he was like, this looks like my Oga. But he could not reconcile the present condition and how he knew him to be, because at the point they lost contact, he was living his own life, the Oga was living his own life, and for a long time there was no communication between them. So he asked people that he saw this person and they were like, yeah, that's him. And he was surprised, like, what happened to him? He knew him to be a rich man and everybody knew him to be sober. At that point, the man had lost practically everything that he had. So what he did was he made a move and he reached out to all the people that learned their trade under the man, told them about his condition, and they decided to do something for him. Why did they decide to do that? Because all of them agreed that the man was so good to them. He was not treating them the way the other bosses were treating their own boys. They were different, and they felt that one good turn deserved another, and they decided to do something for him. So one day they visited him and it was like a reunion, and they told him how they got to know of his condition and that there was something they wanted to show him. So they invited him over to the state where they were living. It was a big celebration, and it was so emotional for him, going back to the state where he started, where he made all the money and where things turned back around. So after the celebration and all that, the following day they took him to somewhere, and it was the market. So they just opened the door to a shop and pointed to a trailer load of goods and told him, "This is your shop, and all the goods in that trailer, they belong to you." And the man broke down and he started crying because he did not expect that. Sometimes, like they say, one good turn deserves another. What goes around comes around, and you keep pushing good things around. Keep pushing good things around. Keep making love go around. Keep making good things go around, and it seems nothing is coming back to you. And just one day out of the blue, God puts together all these good things that you have done, and He throws them back to you in a blink. And that was the guy's story. So let us understand that when we are doing something for another person, even though we are not doing it to be paid back, one way or the other, they always come back around. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope to talk to you soon. God bless you and keep making love go viral.